Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
Friends, this is Professor Neelam Panchal and I welcome you all in this session on Theories of Management Part 1. Friends, in this session we are going to delve with all the theories of management. Management theories basically are the concepts that outline different approaches to business management. These theories guide leadership styles, decision-making processes and organizational structures. We examine how management theory concerning appropriate management practices has evolved in modern times and look at the central concerns that have guided its development. Firstly, we examine the so-called classical management theories that have emerged around the turn of the 20th century. In this session, we are going to include the scientific management which focuses upon matching principle and tasks to maximize the efficiency, and administrative management which focuses on identifying the principles that will lead to the co-creation of the most efficient system of organization and management. Next, we consider behavioral management theories that has developed both before and after the Second World War, which focus on how managers should lead and control their workforces to increase performance. Then we will see the management science theory which developed during the World War II and which has become increasingly vital as researchers have developed rigorous analytical and qualitative and the quantitative techniques to help the managers measure and control organizational performances. And finally, we will discuss the business in the 1960s and 1970s and focus upon the present scenario also. So, the theories that were developed to explain how the external environment affects the organizations and managers functioning, that also we are going to see in this session. So, let me explain you the objectives of the session. So, the objectives of the sessions are to make you understand different theories of management, to trace the history of management, to find out the contributions made by important management thinkers, to compare the contributions of various management thinkers and to understand the nature and process of theories. So, the theories that have evolved throughout the history of the humankind includes number 1, scientific management theory, and then administrative management theory, the behavioral management theory, the management science theory and the organization environment theory. You can look into this figure which is giving you an idea about how the theories are evolved of the management. Let us try to understand all of them one by one. We will start with understanding scientific management theory. So, the emergence of the modern management began in the 19th century after the Industrial Revolution had swept through Europe, Canada and United States. In the new economic climate, managers of all the types of organization, political, educational and economical, were increasingly trying to find out the ways to satisfy customers' needs. At this time, many major economic, technical and cultural changes were taking place. The introduction of the steam power and the development of the sophisticated machinery and equipment altered the way goods were manufactured, particularly in the weaving, and clothing industries. Small workshops run by the skilled workers who produce hand manufactured products, that is a system called a crafts production. They were being replaced by the large factories in which sophisticated machines controlled by the hundreds or even the thousands of the unskilled or semi-skilled workers made products. Owners and managers of the new factories were not prepared for the challenges resulting from the change from small scale crafts production to the large scale mechanized manufacturing. Many of the managers and supervisors had only a technical approach and were not prepared for the social problems that occur when people soon they begin to focus on the ways to increase the efficiency of the worker task mix. Next is F.W. Taylor and scientific management. Friends, Frederick W. Taylor, 1856 to 1915, is the best known for defining the techniques of the scientific management. The systematic study of the relationships between the people and the task to redesign the work process to increase the efficiency. Principle 1. Study the way workers perform their task. Gather all the informal job knowledge that workers have and experiment with the ways of improving the way tasks are performed. Principle 2. Codify the new methods of performing tasks into written values, rules and standard operating procedures. Principle 3. Carefully select the workers so that they have skills and abilities that match the needs of the task and train them to perform the task according to the established rules and procedures. Principle 4. Set up a fair or acceptable level of performance for a task and then develop a pay system that provides a reward for performance above the acceptable level. Friends, Taylor's work has had a profound impact on the management of production systems. Managers in every organization, whether it produces goods or services, now carefully analyze the basic tasks that must be performed and try to devise the work systems that will allow their organizations to work most efficiently. Next is the Gilbreth. Friends, the two prominent followers of the Taylor were Frank Gilbreth, that is from 1868 to 1924, and Lillian Gilbreth, that is 1878 to 1972. They refined Taylor's analysis of the work movements and made many contributions to time and motion study. Their aims were to break up into each of its past actions and analyze every individual action necessary to perform a particular task. Secondly, find out the better ways to perform each part action. Thirdly, reorganize each of the part actions so that the action could be performed more efficiently at less cost of time and effort. In the workshops and the factories, the Gilbreths, Taylor and many others had a major impact on the practice of management. In comparison with the old craft system, jobs in the new system were more repetitive, boring and monotonous because of the application of the scientific management principles, and the workers became increasingly dissatisfied. Frequently, the management of the work settings became a game between the workers and the managers. Managers tried to start work practices to increase the performance, and workers tried to hide the true potential efficiency of the work setting to protect their well-being. Efficiency and productivity go together, and working efficiently has many meanings. It's not just about the working in a way that allows you to go and get the almost done in a fixed period of time. It also involves making sure that you don't hurt productivity. Next is administrative management theory. Friends, in addition to the scientific managers studying the person-task mix to increase the efficiency, other researchers were focusing on the administrative management, the study of how to create an organizational structure that leads to high efficiency and effectiveness. Organizational structure is the system of tasks and authority relationships that govern how the employees use resources to achieve the organization's goal. Two of the most influential views about the creation of efficient systems of organizational administration were developed in Europe. Max Weber, a German professor of sociology, developed one theory. Henri Fayol, the French manager who developed a concept of management, developed the other. So, the next is the theory of bureaucracy. Max Weber wrote at the beginning of the 20th century when Germany was experiencing its industrial revolution. At a time when it was striving to become a world power, Weber developed the principles of bureaucracy, a formal system of organization and administration designed to ensure efficiency and effectiveness. A bureaucratic system of the administration is based on 5 principles. Principle 1. In a bureaucracy, a manager's formal authority is based on the position he or she holds in an organization. Principle 2. In a bureaucracy, individuals should occupy the positions due to their performance, not due to their social standing or personal contacts. Principle 3. The extent of each position's formal authority and task duties and its relationship to other positions in an organization should be decided. Principle 4. Ensure that authority can be exercised effectively in an organization. Positions should be organized hierarchically, and so the employees know who to report to and whom to not to. Principle 5. Managers must create a well-defined system of rules, standard operating procedures and regulations so that they can effectively control behavior within an organization. If bureaucracies are not managed well, however, many problems can result. So, sometimes managers allow the rules and SOPs, bureaucratic red tape, to become so cumbersome that the decision making becomes slow and inefficient and the organizations are unable to change. So, when the managers rely too much on the rules to solve the problems and not enough on their skills and judgment, their behavior becomes inflexible. So, a key challenge for managers is to use the bureaucratic principles to benefit rather than harm to the organization. Now, next is Fayol's principle of management. So, Henri Fayol, also known as the father of the modern management theory, he gave a new perception on the concept of the management. He introduced a general theory that can be applied to all the levels of the management and every department. He envisioned maximizing managerial efficiency. Today also, Fayol's theory is practiced by the management to organize and regulate the internal activities of the organization. So, Fayol has given 14 principles of management which are created, and let us look into one by one. The first is division of work. Henry believed that segregating the work in the workforce among the workers will enhance the quality of the product. Similarly, he also concluded that the division of work improves the productivity, efficiency, accuracy and the speed of the workers. This principle is appropriate for both the managerial as well as technical work level. Second is the authority and responsibility. So, there are two key aspects of the management. Authority facilitates the management to work efficiently, and responsibility makes them responsible for the work done under the guidance or the leadership. Third is a discipline. So, without discipline, nothing can be accomplished. So, it is the core value for any project or any management. So, good performance and a sensible interrelation make the management job easy and comprehensive. Employees' good behavior also helps them smoothly build and progress in their professional careers. Next is unity of command. This means an employee should have only one boss and follow his command. If an employee has to follow more than one boss, there begins a conflict of interest and can create a confusion. Next is unity of direction. Whosoever is engaged in the same activity should have a unified goal. This means all the people working in a company should have one goal and motivate, which will make the work easier and achieve the set goal easily. Next is subordination of individual interests. These indicates a company should work unitedly toward the interest of the company rather than personal interest. Be subordinate to the purposes of the organization. This refers to the whole chain of command in a company. Next is remuneration. Now, these plays an important role in motivating the workers of a company. Remuneration can be monetary or a non-monetary. Ideally, it should be according to an individual's effort they have put forth. Next is centralization. In any company, the management or any authority responsible for the decision-making process should be neutral. However, this depends on the size of an organization. Henry Fayol stressed on the point that there should be a balance between the hierarchy and division of power. Next is the scalar chain principle. Friends, Fayol on this principle highlighted that the hierarchy steps should be from the top to the lowest. Now, this is necessary so that every employee knows their immediate senior. Also, they should be able to contact any if needed. Next is a order. A company should maintain a well-defined work order to have a favorable work culture. The positive atmosphere in the workplace will boost more positive productivity. Next is equity. So, all the employees should be treated equally and respectfully. It is the responsibility of a manager that no employees face discrimination. Next is stability. An employee delivers the best if they feel secure in their job. So, it is the duty of the management to offer job security to their employees. Next is initiative. So, the management should support and encourage the employees to take the initiatives in an organization. It will help them to increase their motivation and morale. Next is esprit de corps. It is saying that it is the responsibility of the management to motivate their employees and be supportive of each other regularly. Developing the trust and mutual understanding will lead to a positive outcome and a work environment. Fayol and Weber's principles still provide a clear and appropriate set of guidelines that managers can use to create a work setting that makes efficient and effective utilization of organizational resources. These principles remain the bedrock of the modern management theory. Recent researchers have refined or developed them to suit modern conditions. For example, Weber's and Fayol's concerns for the equity and the establishment of the appropriate links between the performance and reward are the fundamental to the enterprise themes in contemporary theories of the motivation and the leadership. Friends, after understanding all the theories of management, let me summarize the session. We have seen that management theories are the pillars of any organization. They are the integral part for the production, planning, decision making, process management, control and coordination. In this session, we have examined the evolution of the management theory and research over the last century. We have seen that the management theories are the concepts that outlines different approaches to the business management. Now, these theories, they guide the leadership styles, decision making process and the organizational structures as well. Different management thinkers give different theories of the management, which we tried to discuss in detail in this session. I am sure that once you have understood these theories, you also would be able to make it in a practice in your life. So, I hope you like